Nate Landwehr versus David Onama. How do you say that?
Nate Landwehr,
All right.
Burn, and David Onama. This is again another fight that that's really got me excited. Like if you look their styles in couple previous fights, like that's also like the questionable. Will it go to the second round?
Mm-hmm.
Like talking about the champions outside UFC, Nate was also like what's very interesting for me because like um, you cannot see anything like he's like more or less let's say classic brawler.
Mm-hmm.
You know, he finished one of his last fight by submission, so I think he's working. Yeah, actually, my guy Ludovic Klein, I made some money on him, like when he was underdog. You know, so that's why I remember him. Really crisp stand up. So I really don't see anything, but like he was like a champion in the Russia. Especially for me, it's interesting from American guy to go over there fight an M1, and he defended his belt over there 2 times. You know,
Yep.
and Russian fighters are really good wrestlers. I mean, most of them. And I'm really surprised that he managed like on that craziness to get them off. I didn't watch the fights, but like watching his style, I'm making like a picture in my head. I was like, and I was really surprised like that he managed with that style to go and be a champion over there. You know, and watching his fights in UFC, like he's 2-2. You know, and both fights that he lost by KO, TKO, by flying knee and by the knee.
Mm.
So there's maybe something like maybe they found his kryptonite because he can really like when he goes like on the hands, kicks and everything. Like he really can take beating and he can give you the beating. You know, he's really one of those guys that really like exciting. And if you go like he went against the veteran Darren Elkins, he had really crazy fight. Like he rearranged Elkins' face,
Yeah.
and he
I
was
didn't
like,
I didn't see that fight, but was he able to finish Elkins?
no, it was unanimous decision, but like he really like with the elbow. I think in one exchange he really opened him up. It was bad. It was bad.
Yeah, I can't think of any fighter that's finished Elkins. That's why I asked. Because if he did, then fuck it. I'm picking this guy. I'm changing my pick.
No, he
But
was he did like it was just like
yeah,
you have to watch it. You know, like it was crazy fight. But what I took from that fight, like probably like that mentality. He was like, was that? Yeah, that was like his second. He lost in the first one from Herbert Burns, Gilbert
hmm
brother. He lost by like middle of the first round by knee.
I think that was his first fight in the UFC too.
Yeah, and if you can see his eyes, like he have like a really like a weird look, like and he goes like all tense, like jacked up, like zone in the moment, like
Yeah,
um and between the rounds, what I was saying, like he was like Dana, Dana, where are you, Dana? Like with the Elkins, yeah, like
yeah,
not I'm not a fan of that, but it was like really funny. Like he was all
yeah.
covered by the blood from Elkins and like calling to Dana, like and he really puts the show. You know, he goes and even with the client, he made a show. Like he goes forward. But talking about that, Onama also like we saw him like in his fight against Benitez, he got even rocked. Um, there at the beginning it was like crazy exchange, so that's something that I'm expecting even for this one, and I don't see it going out to the second round, you know.
hmm
So I'm really like waiting for this fight, and I think it's going to be an exciting one. Talking about David Onama, like he's really like he was 9-0 I think as an amateur. He is now 10-1. Only fight that he lost on short notice, like probably to get a contract to get in UFC, and he did it in the category up, Um, so we can
So,
expect a
so you
lot of
can't really hold that against him, you know,
no.
short notice, moving up, you know, in a way he's still undefeated in his weight class. And like other than that fight that he moved up on short notice, like he's finished literally all of his fights. He's got the highest finish rate right now at 100%. And one thing that I like is like his team right now. Like I don't know if you follow like James Krause at all.
Yeah, yeah.
He's over at Glory MMA with James Krause, and I think like this is one of the coaches. Maybe he's going to get more notoriety now that he retired from MMA, but like very good camp that he's coming from, and now they have a champion in Moreno. Obviously, Moreno started in Mexico, so he can't take all the credit. But I think you know he comes from a good camp. He's surrounded by good people. He's undefeated, and if if you're gonna put money on Onama, like put money that he's gonna finish the fight. I think that's easy money right there that he's gonna finish the fight.
Talking about that, like really good point. Like also what you said about Moreno. You remember, like we were talking, like when he fought, like few weeks ago, 3 weeks, 2 weeks. I cannot even follow like,
Two
too many events. Uh,
2 weeks ago.
Maybe 2 or 3. Never
Yeah,
mind.
because he was on the Nunes card. Last week was Santos versus Hill. Before that was Nunes, I want to say.
Exactly. So 2 weeks. So talking about that, like you said, you remember like when we were saying that the chance of Kai is like to chop that leg. You saw how he with Kraus he fixed that. He didn't
Mhm.
stay that wide stance. He had like he was much like how to say his legs were like in more normal stance, not like usually how he was
Yeah,
fighting before. So talking about and also giving the credit to Kraus is like if we go about the last opponent of Onama, it was Garrett Armfield, and actually that was his last amateur fight he did. So it was a rematch actually,
mhm.
and he won by decision and in an amateur. And now he finished him like in the first or second round. I think second. He finished him in the second round. That's saying about the progression that
Right.
guys making from fight to fight. And also like coming back to his loss again, Mason Jones, like he really had amazing performance. Like he put Mason like who is like I mean how top prospect, like even against the Klein, he was like a favorite. Like you remember that I was telling you about that fight that I saw something and put the money on Klein and was like big underdog.
Yeah.
Jason was like pretty big favorite there, and like Onama really brought the fight to him. And I think only that what saved Mason in that fight was like his wrestling. He managed to put him to the ground, and because of the size, it's easier to take smaller person down than when you're same weight. So
But at this weight class at 45, I think like Onama has a perfect frame, right? He's tall for the
yeah,
division, he's long for the division, and I think, you know, he knows how to use it. I mean, it shows it in that he's able to finish most of these guys. So, yeah, I'm going with Onama in this one.
yeah, I agree. I agree. That's like rational. How to say rational pick, But again, minus 250, you know
Nice.
where I'm gonna go. Yeah,
Yeah.
that's something that I really think about it, and I think in that crazy exchanges that's gonna happen most likely. I don't see like that they're gonna have a technical fight. I think it's gonna be a crazy brawl. At least Nate will try to push that and
Hmm.
maybe try to push him to the ground and look his opportunity there. And he's plus 210. So I would maybe go like with the fight not going to the decision, or maybe like even in some crazy parlay, I would a little bit play around and maybe pick Nate maybe like he will clip him and put him to the
Mhm.
ground. But like if we're talking rationally, I think David Onama, it's like pretty easily he wins that fight in 9 of 10.
I think so, and it's something at 145. Probably the division in the UFC at least needs this right now. Like, if you look at just the top of the division, we got Volkanovski and Max Holloway who have fought what 3 times already. They need some new blood, and like to get a guy with 100% finish rate, like that would be. This is why they're in the co-main event. I think
Yeah, I completely agree with you. I think they're pick like, and they're hoping like they need a new star. And I think
Yeah,
David, if he win this fight and maybe next one, he can get pretty fast. Like basically, if he finish Nate and finish one more, I think he can pretty much get maybe even chance for a title.
yeah, he's not far.